Purgatory, Part 1, The Mystery of God's Justice, Chapter 34. Matter of Expiation, Negligence in Holy Communion, Louis of Blois, Saint Magdalen de Pazzi, and the departed soul in adoration. To tepidity is aligned negligence and the preparation for the Eucharistic banquet. If the Church unceasingly calls her children to the holy table, if she desires that they communicate frequently, she always intends that they should do so with fervor and piety, with so great a mystery demands. All voluntary neglect in so holy an action is an offense to the sanctity of Jesus Christ, an offense which must be repaired by a just expiation. Venerable Louis of Blois, in his Miroir Spirituel, speaks of a great servant of God who learned in a supernatural manner how severely these faults are punished in the other life. He received a visit from a soul in purgatory, imploring his aid in the name or in name of friendship by which they had formerly been united. She endured, she said, horrible torments for the negligence with which she had prepared for Holy Communion during the days of her earthly pilgrimage. She could not be delivered but by a fervent communion, which would compensate for her former tepidity. Her friend hastened to gratify her desire, received Holy Communion with great purity of conscience, with all the faith and devotion possible, and then she saw the Holy Soul appear brilliant with an incomparable splendor and rise towards heaven. In the year 1589, in the monastery of Saint or Mary of the Angels in Florence, died a religious who was much esteemed by her sisters in religion, but who soon appeared to Saint Magdalene de Pazzi to implore her assistance in the rigorous purgatory to which she was condemned. The saint was in prayer before the Blessed Sacrament when she perceived the deceased kneeling in the middle of the church with an attitude of profound adoration. She had around her a mantle of flames that seemed to consume her, but a white robe that covered her body protected her in part from the action of the fire. Greatly astonished, Magdalene desired to know what this signified, and she was answered that this soul suffered thus for having a little devotion toward the august sacrament of the altar. Notwithstanding the rules and holy customs of her order, she had communicated but rarely, and then with indifference. It was for this reason divine justice had condemned her to come every day to adore the Blessed Sacrament, and to submit to the torture of fire at the feet of Jesus Christ. Nevertheless, in reward for her virginal purity, represented by the white robe, her divine spouse had greatly mitigated her sufferings. Such was the revelation which God made to his servant. She was deeply touched and made every effort to assist the poor soul by all the suffrages in her power. She often related this apparition and made use of it to exhort her spiritual daughters to zeal for Holy Communion.